You probably got sick this year. Maybe a cold, maybe allergies, maybe stomach problems, maybe constant fatigue, maybe inflammation you can't even explain. And that's normal. In fact, for modern humans, being slightly sick all the time has become so normal that we barely notice it anymore. But here's the strange part. For most of human history, this wasn't normal at all. Ancient humans lived surrounded by dirt, animal blood, parasites, unwashed hands, open wounds, and contaminated water. By modern standards, their world was filthy. So why weren't they constantly collapsing from the kinds of chronic sickness we deal with today? Why do we live in the cleanest environment in human history, but suffer from more autoimmune diseases, allergies, obesity, diabetes, and chronic inflammation than ever before? The answer is not what most people think. Because the biggest health change in human history wasn't medicine. It was civilization. And to understand why, we had to go back to a time when getting sick meant something very different. For over 95% of human history, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. Small groups. Usually between 20 and 50 people. Always moving. No cities. No farms. No permanent trash. No sewage. No packed bedrooms. No crowded markets. And this matters more than you think. Because disease spreads differently when humans are scattered. If one person got sick, it often ended there. There wasn't enough population density to keep many pathogens alive. Many viruses that infect us today, like measles, require thousands of hosts continuously. Ancient bands simply couldn't sustain them. A virus would burn through the group and disappear. That alone made prehistoric life fundamentally different. Not healthier, but less crowded. And crowding changes everything. But don't romanticize ancient life. They absolutely got sick. A lot. Cuts became infected. Broken bones could kill. Parasites were common. Worms, lice, fleas. They suffered injuries constantly. And infant mortality was brutal. If you were born weak, you often didn't survive. If you got a deep infection, there were no antibiotics. If you ate the wrong thing, that might be the end. Ancient life was dangerous. But the kind of sickness was different. It was sharp. Immediate. Visible. You either recovered, or you died. What they didn't have much of was the slow sickness. The invisible kind. The kind that builds for years. The kind modern humans carry every day. And that shift began with one invention. Agriculture. Around 12,000 years ago, humans stopped moving. They settled. They planted crops. They domesticated animals. And at first, this seemed like a miracle. Food became predictable. Population exploded. Villages became cities. Civilization was born. But it came with a biological cost. Because now humans lived close together. Very close. And for the first time in history, so did their waste. Human waste. Animal waste. Rotting food. Standing water. All in one place. This created a perfect breeding ground for disease. Suddenly, pathogens didn't disappear. They evolved. They multiplied. They stayed. Tuberculosis. Cholera. Smallpox. Influenza. Many of these became possible because humans clustered together. And even worse, we started sleeping beside animals. Cows. Pigs. Chickens. Goats. Animals carried diseases. And those diseases jumped species. This is called zoonosis. And it changed human history forever. The flu likely came from birds. Measles may have evolved from cattle viruses. Smallpox may have emerged through animal contact. In other words, the more civilized we became, the more contagious we became. But infection wasn't the only change. Diet changed too. Hunter-gatherers ate hundreds of plant species. Wild roots. Nuts. Berries. Meat. Organs. Seasonal diversity. Nothing processed. Nothing refined. But farmers ate fewer foods. Usually grains. Wheat. Rice. Corn. cheap calories, less variety, more starch, and the human body change. Skeletons from early farming communities show something shocking. They were shorter, weaker, more malnourished. Their teeth were worse. Much worse. Cavities exploded after agriculture. Because bacteria love sugar and starch. Before farming, tooth decay was rare. After farming, it became common. The mouth itself became a historical record of diet. And it tells a clear story. More food didn't mean better health. Just more survival. Then modern life made it even stranger. Because now we have something ancient humans never had. Ultra-clean environments. Filtered water. Soap. Disinfectants. Antibiotics. Vaccines. Climate control. And these saved millions of lives. Without them, many of us wouldn't be here. But they also created a new problem. Our immune systems evolved in a wild microbial world. Not sterile apartments. Not sanitized offices. Not packaged food. For millions of years, your immune system expected constant exposure. Soil bacteria. Animal microbes. Plant microbes. Natural parasites. Environmental chaos. That chaos trained the immune system. It taught it what to attack. And what to ignore. But today? That training is missing. And the immune system gets confused. Sometimes it attacks pollen. That's allergies. Sometimes it attacks food. That's intolerance. Sometimes it attacks your own body. That's autoimmune disease. This is one of the biggest medical mysteries of the modern world. And some scientists call it the hygiene hypothesis. Not because hygiene is bad, but because our biology may still expect the dirt. Think about this. Ancient children grew up touching soil every day. Drinking from rivers. Playing with animals. Sleeping outdoors. Touching everything. Modern children touch glass screens. Plastic. Sterile tables. Indoor air. This changes the microbiome. The invisible ecosystem inside your gut. And your gut controls far more than digestion. It affects mood. Immunity. Inflammation. Energy. Even behavior. Ancient humans had far more microbial diversity than we do. Studies of isolated hunter-gatherer groups today show gut bacteria modern humans have completely lost. And once lost, they may not come back. Which means modern health problems may partly be a story of microbial extinction. Inside us. And then there's food. Modern humans eat more calories than ever. But often less nutrition. Refined sugar. Seed oils. Artificial flavoring. Preservatives. Constant snacking. Ancient humans didn't eat like this. They couldn't. Food required effort. Sometimes enormous effort. Missing one meal was normal. Fasting was normal. Hunger was normal. Today hunger feels like an emergency. But biologically, our bodies were built for it. That mismatch matters. Because obesity isn't just about eating too much. It's about living in an environment our bodies never evolved for. Infinite calories. Zero effort. Constant access. That has never existed before. Not once in human history. Until now. So were ancient humans healthier? Not exactly. They suffered. They died young. Life was harder. Far harder. But they were better matched to their environment. And we are not. That's the real story. Modern medicine defeated many deadly ancient diseases. But it also allowed us to build an artificial world. A world of comfort. Speed. Abundance. Isolation. Sterility. And our bodies are still catching up. We evolved for movement. But sit. We evolved for sunlight. But live indoors. We evolved for scarcity. But eat constantly. We evolved for microbial chaos. But sanitize everything. And the body notices. Every day. So the strange truth is this. Ancient humans didn't rarely get sick. They got sick differently. Fast sickness. Hard sickness. Survival sickness. We get slow sickness. Hidden sickness. Civilization sickness. And maybe the reason modern life feels exhausting is because your body is still ancient, trying to survive in a world it was never designed for. And that may be the oldest human problem of all. Not death. Not hunger. But mismatch. The distance between what we are and the world we build. And every time you feel tired, inflamed, stressed, or sick for no clear reason, your body may be reminding you of something ancient. It still remembers the old world, even if we forgot it.